Hello there. I'm Lilian Raji, luxury brand strategist, communications advisor, and founder of the PRadvisor.com. For over 20 years, I've helped my clients generate over $100 million in revenue by doing one thing really, really well, helping them build meaningful, lasting relationships with their customers. And in this course, The Customer Journey, using public relations to help customers find you, I'm going to teach you how to do exactly that. This is a 5-part masterclass that shows you how to turn browsers into buyers and buyers into loyal brand ambassadors. You'll learn the exact strategies my luxury clients have used to create unforgettable customer experiences and how to apply those strategies to your business, no matter your size or industry. But here's the thing. What you're seeing here on YouTube is just the surface. To get the full course experience, you need to register for free on my website, thepradvisor.com. When you register, you'll unlock over $1,500 worth of bonuses, beginning with a 10-week email series packed with advanced strategies, templates, and case studies to help you fully solidify your understanding. A full toolkit of professional templates for journey mapping, persona building, emotional touch points, and media planning. Access to my private community where you can join me and other ambitious entrepreneurs like yourself for my monthly live streams where I answer all of your questions live, in person, and with any subject that you want to touch on. And best of all, when you register on the PRadvisor.com website, you'll also receive a 20-minute private strategy session with me, so you can get personalized guidance on your biggest customer journey challenge. Everything is completely free, no catch, just value. So if you're ready to build a business your customers truly love, go to the PRadvisor.com website right now, register for the course, and get all the special bonuses. I'll see you inside.
Well, hello there. I want to thank you for investing in this course on the customer journey using PR to help customers find you. My name is Lilian Raji, president of the Lilian Raji Agency, where I have served as strategic counselor and public relations advisor to some of the world's leading luxury brands for over 2 decades. I'm also the founder of the PR Advisor, which is probably how you discovered this course. The PR Advisor started as a monthly advice column on nationaljeweler.com. Now, I still have that column, but I've now launched the official website to offer more to those who can use my expertise. After spending much of my career working with global brands to help them achieve monumental success, I'm now in a place where I want to help smaller companies realize their own monumental goals. The PR Advisor was established for that purpose, to give you, as a small business owner, access to my 20+ years of experience without the cost my agency charges much larger companies. My courses are created with a lot of detail, so you're going to receive the equivalent information my much larger clients have access to. So now, let's talk about this course. This course is going to take you through an accelerated intake session that I conduct with all of our clients, putting you through some of the exercises I cover with clients over a 2-day period, then tying it all back into the reason you're here, using press to help customers find you. Each class is divided as follows. First, we'll talk about what exactly the customer journey is. It's been a big buzz term for the past few years, and I'm sure you're wondering what it means. Next, we're going to dive into about 15% of what I cover when I do a 2-day intensive with clients. This begins with understanding your company, followed by your customer persona. And finally, we're going to tie it all back to press. When we do so, I'm going to give you one of my favorite case studies, the work we did to transition the 100-year-old mom and pop shop Gutberg Jewelers into the global pre-owned luxury watch platform known as Watchbox. I want to hear everything you have to say because this course ultimately is all about you. It is important for me that you leave this course with action items that you can use for your company going forward. By the end of this course, you will have learned the following. 1. How customers begin forming emotional connections with your company. This is the absolutely most important foundation in creating a marketing strategy, as emotional connections are the secret to creating customer loyalty. We'll go over all of the components of the customer journey in today's class. Some will apply to you, some will not. But the ones that do apply to you must be optimized well to create that important, lasting first impression. Next, how to optimize the customer journey. This is where some psychology and seduction come into play, as optimizing the customer journey for your customers requires a bit of finesse to get your target customers to act in a way that benefits you. I'll show you how to do that in the next class. 3. Beating out competitors with your origin story. The reason you started your company is the reason customers should choose you. We'll talk about that at length in the third class. 4. Understanding the mind of your customers. How can you seduce them if you don't know what they value? You'll learn how to discover their values and how to use psychology to turn those values into reasons to buy from you. And 5, getting press to endorse you. Now, let me be clear that endorsement comes in the form of a favorable article. Your favorite journalist is not going to come out and just say that you're the best, even though we all know that you are. But in this final class, I'm going to show you how to put all of these lessons together so that when you do contact a journalist, you know exactly how to package your story so that they bite. Don't forget, this course comes with a 20-minute consulting call with me to answer any questions you have. Feedback is tremendously important to me. Please don't hesitate to email me with any questions that come up. Your questions will get answered during our call, but also in one of my weekly articles or in my column. If you're not signed up for my weekly newsletters, do that immediately, as you'll be getting more information to grow your business through these free newsletters. So now, with no further ado, let's get started. Before we begin, make sure you've downloaded the worksheets for today, as I'll be asking you to pause throughout this lesson to jot down ideas and notes. Best to do it now while it's fresh in your mind, but also plan to revisit your ideas again as this course comes together and you start better understanding the nature of the customer journey. The phrase customer journey entered the marketing lexicon roughly 5 years ago. It became this buzz term to describe what we all know happens in our relationship with customers, but never had a formal label for it. Simply put, the customer journey is everything a customer does before, during, and after they buy from you. Or more formally put, the customer journey is defined as the complete sum of experiences that customers go through when interacting with your company and brand. Instead of looking at just a part of a transaction or experience, the customer journey documents the full experience of being a customer. Let's look at this a little bit more deeply. I want you to think about your favorite brand, that one company where you own at least 3 items from them, or who represents the very best in its category for you. Now, take a moment to consider how you first learned about the company, the very first time the company name entered your awareness. Please pause this video right now and answer the question in detail in today's worksheet. Okay, what did you come up with? You've just given yourself an example of how the customer journey begins. Now, let's talk about my customer journey with a couple of different brands. And here are a couple of my favorite brands. I first learned about Cartier when I worked at the watch store Tourneau in my 20s and became immersed in the company's origin story. Fair warning, Cartier will come up a couple of times during this course, including today's class. So, you've been warned. Adidas, I think my first true recognition of them was from the classic Run DMC song, My Adidas. The original Apple iPod was when I first became an Apple customer, but it was truly the original iPhone commercials that made me fall for the brand. Those commercials were genius in their simplicity. Hermes got on my radar through a memorable Sex and the City episode. By the way, my product placement course teaches you how to get your products into a movie or TV show without paying for it. Visit the PR Advisor website to learn more about this course. It's amazing and how business changing can be to get your product prominently featured in the right movie or TV show at the right time. The product placement course goes in depth on this, sharing with you how it transformed a one-man business into a global phenomenon by getting his products into the Hunger Games movie without him paying a cent, at least not to the studios. This course teaches you the exact steps I took so that you can recreate the opportunity for yourself. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, next and finally, I first learned about Lexus from seeing them on the road, which is basically true about almost all car brands, except perhaps exotic ones like Bugattis. You never really see a lot of Bugattis on the road now, do you? Unless you live in Miami like me. That's a different story. Why I came to own a Lexus, however, goes back to emotional connections. If you're old enough to have watched the classic Laverne and Shirley show, you'll appreciate this story. By the way, I watched the reruns, not the original airings. I don't want to overage myself. I always loved how Laverne wore clothing with an L on the chest. There was a time in fashion trends where initial shirts were all the rage. I scooped those up and still wear them to this day. However, when I could finally afford one, I scooped up a Lexus as a perpetual exhibition of my first initial. The quality of Lexus cars will forever make me a customer. Quality is an important part of the customer journey, which becomes prominent after the customer makes their first purchase with you. We're not going to go too much into this right now, but you'll see it covered in my newsletter and in past columns I've written. So now, going back to your own experience for brands, put yourself in your customer's shoes and apply your experience to what your own customers may say about how they first learned about you. Please pause again and return to the worksheets. Was it hard or easy for you to come up with ideas on how customers find you? This isn't something people think about so often, but this is crucial to your business as it gives you insight into how and where you can start communicating with your customers. Let's go into a complete example of a customer journey. Our customer is Anastasia. If you follow my National Jeweler column, you know how much I love that name. But anyway, back to Anastasia. Anastasia loves jewelry. The more unique, the better. She's always looking for something that is an expression of her individuality. Now, again, you were previously forewarned, we're going to use Cartier in this example. And yes, you're going to be hearing a lot about Cartier throughout this course because I love Cartier, and that's what happens when you have customers passionate about your brand. Anastasia first learns about Cartier when she sees this Town and Country article by the divine Celine Valendez discussing a Cartier Tutti Frutti bracelet. Now, count the pings as we go through her customer journey. The pings are important because each ping represents a touch point Anastasia has with Cartier, and each ping will shape her perception of Cartier moving forward. So, we have our first ping, the Town and Country article. Now, Anastasia is intrigued by this brand called Cartier that she never knew existed until she read this article. She wants to learn more. So, she goes to the Cartier website and loses herself in the many layers of content Cartier has, even setting up a wish list on the site, happily giving Cartier her contact information. It's a Saturday evening and she has no plans, so she happily indulges herself on the site. Of course, the website represents the next ping. It's her next touch point with Cartier. After a couple of hours on the Cartier website, she sees it's getting late, but she's completely and absolutely enthralled by the brand. She wants to continue learning more about Cartier, so she goes to their Instagram page to follow them. She also goes to their Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube to see what they're doing there as well. Just a heads up, as you're keeping track of the pings, there are 4 pings here, but we've already counted the Instagram one. Pay attention. Now, a week goes by, and after an exhausting week of work, Cartier has slipped her mind until the Cartier newsletter shows up in her inbox. And Cartier being Cartier, it's not any old newsletter that's just trying to sell her something. It's a newsletter that has an engaging story that delves more and more into the brand. If you sign up for my newsletter on the pradvisor.com website, you will have received a 5-email course on what goes into making compelling newsletters. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Finish this class, of course, then head over to my website to get the free email course. Let's continue. Let's say Anastasia lives in Atlanta. Anastasia has to run to Lenox Square to pick up a gift for her mother from Neiman Marcus. As she's headed to Neiman's, she notices a Cartier store in the same wing. Why she missed it before, she has no idea. But now she's going to pop in. Now here's the tricky part. How many pings are we going to give the Cartier boutique encounter? Think for a moment. Na 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 da 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 da. Boom boom. If you said two, you are correct. If Anastasia had only acknowledged that there was a Cartier store in Lenox that she'd never noticed before, that would have been one ping. On a psychological level, Cartier is registering in her mind. Cartier is now getting real estate in her thoughts. The second ping comes because she went into the store. And in the store, Jean-Pierre, our wonderful Cartier salesman, descends upon Anastasia like her name is Beyonce. And Jean-Pierre treats Anastasia with the same regard that makes Anastasia actually start thinking she might be Beyonce. Jean-Pierre is smart enough to get not only Anastasia's contact information, but also her birthday, which is not too far away. Anastasia leaves the store empty-handed, but excited she finally had a chance to see some pieces in person. Now, our devilish Jean-Pierre didn't become the top salesperson in the store by accident. 2 weeks go by where Anastasia hasn't thought about Cartier, only for her to receive a note in the mail from Jean-Pierre thanking her for stopping by. And he was brilliant enough to also include a newly arrived Cartier catalog so that Anastasia can continue salivating over the Cartier pieces that she wanted for herself. Anastasia pops onto Instagram, her first time in weeks, and lo and behold, Cartier is featuring a breathtaking piece she just has to have. She finds details of that piece in the catalog Jean-Pierre has sent. Now, we can continue this journey to include many additional touch points, but I think you're getting the point. So we're going to end here with Anastasia finally making the first of many Cartier purchases. Can you see the journey Anastasia took to finally become a Cartier customer? Let's talk about the pings. Ping 1 was a Town & Country article. Ping 2 was the Cartier website. Pings 3, 4, 5, and 6 were her interactions on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Pinterest. Ping 7 was the Cartier newsletter. Pings 8 and 9 were her noticing the Cartier boutique and then entering the boutique. Ping 10 was her interaction with Jean-Pierre, the salesperson. Ping 11 was the personal note and Cartier catalog Jean-Pierre sent her. Ping 12 was Cartier popping up on her Instagram feed with the right product. And finally, ping 13 was her first purchase. Now, there is one common denominator across all of these pings. You want to guess what it is? All of them were under Cartier's control. The Town & Country article came out of a relationship with Celine Volandes. Obviously, the website, the social media channels, and the newsletter were all under Cartier's direct control. Having a boutique in the right place, and for what was for Anastasia the right time, was also under Cartier's control, as was having an employee like Jean-Pierre, who knows how to close a sale. If you don't have a boutique, your website and social channels become that much more important. And your Jean-Pierre, the copy you use on your website, social channels, and newsletter. We're not going to go into copy in this course, but if I get enough requests, I'll plan to create a course specifically on this topic. Otherwise, my column and blog will touch on this in the future. You might wonder why Anastasia entering the boutique and her interactions with Jean-Pierre are counted separately. Think for a moment. What makes a memorable impression? Going to a store, walking around, and then leaving, or going to a store, walking around, and then having a salesperson engage you in a meaningful way? That added layer of customer service in our example with Jean-Pierre adds an additional psychological depth in Anastasia's perception of Cartier, as would you having a meaningful discussion with a salesperson at a store where you only went in to browse. Remember, part of this course is learning how to use psychology to seduce your customers. Your salespeople, if you have any, play a crucial role in that psychology. Now, the worksheets for this section ask you to analyze all of the pings. Each represents a different category of marketing and PR, all under your control. Stop now to brainstorm which categories each ping represents. If you're the type that likes to bring an apple for the teacher, you can impress me by visiting the link you'll find on today's worksheet where you can enter your answers directly online. If you do, you'll receive a copy of my answers in return. That's it for today's class. See you tomorrow.